Hello and welcome once again to Gaming Under the Influence. I'm Mike here with Alex, coming to you guys from GreenDragonCVR in Woodbridge, Ontario to talk to you about video games.
Oh, yeah.
It's the same game we talked about last time, but our fucking video was taken down. I apologize about that.
And YouTube and embargoes.
Yeah.
Nah, we broke the embargo, though.
We did. And that's on Forspoken. We're here to talk to you about it again. And we,
yes.
if you remember our previous video, quite enjoyed it. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I mean, that was the takeaway then, and we've only played it more since then, so...
And incidentally, that opinion was posted before the embargoes dropped, so we didn't realize how much everybody else did not enjoy it.
Yeah.
At the time we crafted that fucking video.
Yeah, I mean, I had the sense that it was going in that direction. Everything seemed to be pointing towards, you know, the hate mob, cyberpunk, Days Gone, everybody dogpiling on it, but we didn't fully know quite, you know, how disastrous it was going to be, but
yeah, how disastrous the reception would be, indeed. Yeah.
You know what, though? It's funny because, I mean, the reviews weren't all that harsh. I mean, they weren't super positive either, but it's just like the general, like, internet hive mind reaction to it. You know what I mean? Like, I see a lot of discourse going on and a little bit of... But at the same time, the reviews, you know, there were a lot of, like, 7s and 8s, which...
There were some good ones, too.
Bad.
Yeah. There were.
It's just a mess, honestly.
Yeah, we probably... You know,
almost
we talked about this, too. We shouldn't linger too long on the opinions of idiots and other words that I'm not going to use.
Yeah,
just so we don't have to cut them. But
we'll just give you our idiot opinions instead.
But we could at least, you know, say that in the broad strokes, man. You know, the criticisms that we're dealing with something like a bland open world and an unlikable character, like the first one is just factually not true.
Yeah,
in comparison to games that the critics who put these opinions forth endorse, because, you know, it's very clear that the thing is filled with at least as many activities and divergent fucking
there's nothing bland about it.
Interact with the world as every other game. I think it's instead like a tonal or aesthetic or fictional preference that people feel is offended here.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, and on the other hand, regarding the unlikable character, I've used this analogy with you before too, but it's like when I talk to people about the Trailer Park Boys. For those of you who don't know, it's this Canadian fucking, you know, a mockumentary TV series about a bunch of like petty thieves and drug dealers who live in a trailer park in eastern Canada, and it's a great show, incredible, one of my favorite shows ever.
Amazing.
And sometimes when people watch it and they don't understand it, they say things like, fuck, this is a stupid show. Look at these guys. They're idiots.
They're idiots,
buddy,
And they are.
They are idiots, of course. And this character, too, is an unlikable person for a large portion of the game, actually.
Yeah, a lot of her
the entire
is,
arc, the entire character development, but her not being that anymore. But just mean to say, like, of course, there's a difference between the thing represented being an idiot or unlikable and the representation being so.
Exactly.
Fucking confusing two very different things, right? Like, it seems as though, like, you know, if we say that representing a stupid person is stupid, like, what are you saying that? I mean, obviously this is not applicable to this game, but it seems like a disqualification of the very idea of comedy as a genre of literature or fucking or art in general, right? No, man, the whole point of something is
there's a whole genre
to, like,
of,
depict,
you know,
like something that's bad or worse than it should be. Not because you're endorsing the badness or whatever the flaws the character exhibits, but because their flaws are, you know, they testify to some aspect of your concept, something you're trying to exhibit in your world, right? Such as the fact that their behavior is unvirtuous, you know, as is the case with the character we're talking about in Forspoken. So, yeah, those are the two main criticisms I've seen floating around surrounding this game, and I think they're both pretty ridiculous, if you ask me. Like, people say things like you can't go inside of the buildings. Yeah, man, I mean, we have fucking 20 plus hours of footage on YouTube. Just go watch how many buildings you can go inside.
Yeah, there's tons.
You know, that the world is bland and
lifeless,
like, which is a post-apocalyptic world. But I know this much: every town, every area you visit is filled with towns and villages and castles and shit. And inside of every one, there's usually an archive entry or something like that describes why the people you see dead in the place are arranged the way they are and what happened.
Yeah, what happened there. Yeah, and then the world is just as littered with, you know, things to do in the similar sense of, you know, like Ghost of Tsushima,
Horizon Zero Dawn,
Red Dead, whatever the hell else, right? It's the exact same in that sense.
There's
like,
perhaps even more. Like, most of these games, like, you could say they have 4 or 5 kinds of activities that happen around the world. We talked about Ghost of Tsushima. We call this the grammar of genre. Like, these kinds of genres, like, they have just, you know, when you're making a game in a genre, it has pre-established conventions that you work within to communicate your point, right? Like, nobody harps on other entries in these genres for employing those very same conventions. Yes, like this game does, like other open world action games have a set of activities that, you know, it replicates in different areas of the game that you're supposed to participate in. They differ based on the region and the fiction motivating them in each case, but the activity is the same. There's like 6 or 7 or maybe more activities. There's at least as many, if not more, than there are in any other games in this genre.
Absolutely.
Right? It's just a fact, buddy. You can look at it. Open your map. Look at the list of activities on the side. It's the same fucking thing.
Yep.
You know? Do you mean to say, like, you don't like the gray, empty, fictional zombie world, but you do, like, you like other games in that genre?
Exactly.
Right? Like,
yeah, that's why I think, you know, a lot of the criticism is unjust, and it's like a situation like Cyberpunk where people sort of, it catches like a wave and people sort of just jump all over it.
Like
exactly.
It's a self-replicating idea.
Oh, and you know what was another funny one I saw today that people were complaining, or someone was complaining that all the safe houses were the exact same. Like, what is literally going on in your fucking head when you're playing a game that you stop at it's what's called a refuge, where you literally rest and save and craft, like many other games where these rooms are probably identical. Like, what? It's like they just pull these criticisms out of their ass.
Fictionally that way for a reason, though. Don't they address that?
They're actually, somebody did respond with a reason why they were like that, which, I mean, that's great, but I don't even care.
Who cares?
Like, literally, I find a safe house and I stop in, I save my game, heal up, maybe craft something new, and off you go. How many games have we played that have that?
To my experience, too, I found that the places I've visited so far have been at least as radically varied as the ones in Elden Ring or Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Like, there's your fucking, you know, your desert area with lots of choking clouds. There's your like fucking verdant, like water-filled area. There's these like poisoned fields and shit like this, full of green and delusion. And you know, I mean, it's conventional in that sense.
Yeah.
I don't even mean that as a criticism. Like, we're getting something fairly routine here in all of the respects that people don't seem to have a problem with otherwise, which leads me to believe that, I've talked about this with you before too, that, you know, when we go into something, we, just as much as when somebody creates something, like, we take our views about human nature and reality into our ability to enjoy the text. And when something contradicts our deeply held views about certain kinds of things, it's like contrary to our own aesthetic sense,
by default, you don't like it, right?
It's impossible for you to perceive what beauty there might or might not be in the thing. And again, there's nothing wrong with this, right? Like, the same way, like, some people do or do not like certain kinds of taste, the same way dogs can hear sounds that we can't, right? Like, there's something good in everything, but that doesn't mean that everybody can see it or should be able to see it the same. They shouldn't. We're different subjects, right? It's everybody receives things according to the motive of the receiver. You know, it's impossible that we all see things the same. So I think, you know, this is not to say that all fucking points of view or opinions are equal. Indeed, I think the reason why people don't like this is because they have a preference for literal horse shit, you know? Their fucking taste is for, like, what we've called anthropocentric, story-focused games, which I thought this would be, in fact. They want stuff like fucking God of War or Ghost of Tsushima, where there's this, like, sentimental fucking arc that hits close to home, and they can sit there and post on Reddit about how they made...
they wanted to cry about it,
Literally, bro. Go find that. That's a whole genre thing now.
Yeah.
You know? And this game, you know, coming from Japan and being a little bit more aloof and Lynchian, I guess I would say, like, to me, it doesn't seem to have that same fucking focus. It doesn't care to take its, like, you know, its magical categories and mythological elements and reduce them to something relevant to the human condition, to some fucking dad bod in California in 2022, right?
Yep.
It's just not the point of it, you know? And I think for that reason, people dislike it.
People don't like it, yeah.
Despite it being materially convergent with games they very much do like, it's Japanese and floaty spirit that I think really irritates people, and the fact that it doesn't get into the same territory, you know, with its plot beats. The fact that the character, like, is unlikable, which is fine. Like, I guess that's not, you know,
it's not a knock against it. That is what it is.
Part of its dramatic development, but.
It's funny
the criticisms are unjustified.
That's 100% right off the bat. Like, a lot of the criticism out there is just petty, stupid,
it's either factually incorrect
whiny
or
complaints.
It's based on you know, people's preference for a ridiculous view of reality and human nature.
Yeah, a completely different tone of, you know, that doesn't exist here, right? Like, it's just not what this game is. And it's sad, but
you know what it is though. It's fucking really fun to play.
Yeah, fuck, that's the thing. And, like, you can even look at our channel a couple of, like, a week or two ago, we posted a video saying, I think it was titled Forspoken, Should We Be Optimistic?
Oh, yeah.
No, the one before that. And we posted it because we really honestly did not have that much optimism for it. We really didn't even think we would like it.
I said I would not.
I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy we gave it a chance because, maybe wouldn't have found out. Like I full on booted it up with the expectation of playing like an hour or two and saying, yeah, it's okay, but not my thing. And then immediately like I was engrossed. And it even has kind of a little bit of a slow start, but once you get into the open world and you see the movement, the running around and flying, practically the parkour, like it's just getting into the flow of that was really cool, and it made it easier to kind of engage with the rest of it.
It does have a slow start, you're right, in the sense that a lot of the fucking really cool shit is unlocked later on.
Yes.
A lot of the movement abilities. In the beginning, it plays like a third-person shooter.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
pretty
that
much,
that one kind of magic.
Yeah, it's very slow. It's a little more...
You unlock way different things. Yeah. Like you unlock like practically artillery spells that shoot up and down and then fall down on the guy. You unlock like melee attacks and stuff, so... everything varies up, and you unlock these like transitional abilities that let you quickly, like with an attack without breaking your combo, switch between
to the next set. Yeah, I've heard about that, and I haven't even gotten to that yet, but that'll be interesting to see.
It's very cool, like it's all incredibly well put together, and we always talk about this too, like you got an open world, one of the most important parts is traversal and movement.
Yeah.
Fucking the movement here is awesome, man.
If you're gonna have if you're gonna have a massive open world, the best way to go about it is have a way to quickly go around, fly around, whatever it is, right? Like in Breath of the Wild, having the paraglider changed things because you could float around, whatever it is. But
and remember too, when we played Bloodstained Ritual of the Night way back in 2019, we talked about how you have progressive mastery over the virtual environment. You know what I mean? You start not being able to move very quickly and being like hampered by gaps and shit, but by the end of the game, you're flying all over the place.
Flying, literally flying, like
that kind of development is cool. It's not really like it's not that like artificial like fucking styrofoam fucking RPG development where you got a gun and then the number on the gun goes up at the end. No, this is like radically like different kind of gameplay elements are introduced as you get further into the game, right? And I feel like that's the kind of like iteration that movement has in this game as you progress through the story and stuff like that. You unlock different kinds of magic, and at first you just have that sprinting ability and it's kind of limited and you run out of stamina, you have to stop. But you get the fire one, it lets you zip line up of walls and you can regenerate the stamina while running.
Nice.
Then you get the ability to glide and kind of fly. It's all kinds of cool shit. And by the end of it, you're just like fucking
keeps you engaged, right?
Map, bro. It's so fun. The way it works is you do this like parkour movement, and by the end of it, you can do like different little things, like hit like a boost at certain junctures when you're running to replenish your stamina, or you can jump and keep jumping to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Just always like varying it up and having something to do while you're moving that makes it super fun. You really get this sense of movement too. And playing with the haptic feedback there, like I never really care much for that shit.
I don't either. I actually turned it off, but
here I do like it, like especially when you're running, you feel the footprints,
Yes. Yeah. I ended up turning it back on once I figured out that you don't have to jam the triggers down all the way every time you're shooting. They're kind of turned into what's called like haptic, not haptic, but like hairpin triggers, where you only have to go down like halfway. Triggers, they're like two-stage. Because
the spells have like every spell that you have equipped, like it has like a basic one.
Yeah.
Each school of magic, you just tap it to do one thing. And when you hold it, it does whatever you have equipped.
It does like a bigger.
There's 3 different ones for each kind, for each school. So and then that's why it has the 2 stages, right? You do the first one to. And it's cool. You switch between them. It gives you more experience when you finish the battles.
That's right. Yeah.
And playing on the normal difficulty too, I find it's well balanced. Like the normal combat isn't very difficult, doesn't hold you up very much, but your character is squishy. If you don't fucking move in combat, you're gonna die.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And on top of that, there's bosses that are very difficult, peppered throughout the map, called mutants.
Yep.
You're intended to go fight. There's huge world bosses. You get caught in these fucking storms.
Oh wow, I didn't even encounter that yet.
These huge bosses like come out of the storms and try and attack you.
Nice.
There's dungeons with bosses in them too, variants of those same like giant break monster bosses. And then of course there's the 4 main story bosses. These sorceresses called Tantas who run Athia there, the fictional world. And
they're pretty intriguing too. I find myself really interested in the lore around them. Yeah, they're psycho.
That's the point. Yeah, they all went crazy. They're fucking scary, bro. That's the part that, like, when you watch them and the way they talk and behave, it the most reminds me of like a Japanese game at those points, because it's like they're straight up like Resident Evil characters.
They're psychotic.
You know how the Resident Evil like in 4, that short little guy who dressed like Napoleon, who's just a fucking lunatic.
Yeah,
that kind of shit.
It's really
they're like crazy dudes.
Oh man.
Yeah, I like them too. It's always intriguing to meet a new one.
Yeah.
And they're introduced at different parts in the story, and you got to go to their castle and hunt them down.
Yeah.
go
I like
through
it. It's for all the shit we hear about the dialogue too. Like
I like the dialogue.
I'm finding it kind of funny. I like how you still kind of early on, but you go to that big archive room, like that library, and the girl there's telling you can read books here to learn about the Tantas and what happened and how you can go against them and fight them. And she goes, oh, okay, like so I'm gonna go after them, whatever. And she's like, yeah. You're probably gonna die. The girl like flat out tells you to her face, I don't think you're gonna beat them, but good luck. I thought it was kind of funny. I don't know. The dialogue doesn't bother me at all whatsoever. I know people have been complaining, saying it's cringy, it's this, it's that. I don't see it. I don't know.
Same. Yeah. I especially I just saw a scene yesterday or the day before when I was playing where I don't know if you met this character yet. The female friend that she makes in that fucking town.
Odin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Howden, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like 10 hours in or something now, maybe.
And she's like a pretty amicable person, but after some shit happens to her, which you can probably anticipate, and she's all miserable and stuff like that. Like she hears the main character Frey there bitching about how she's never going to get home and she's stuck there in this like disaster. And she's like, you know what? Fucking fuck you. We fucking welcome you here. We're nice to you and shit. Now she
broke her out of prison at the beginning.
All you can do is like think about yourself and bitch about how fucking you're stuck with us. Yeah. Well, fuck you too then, fuck you. And they have like an argument and like it was a well-written thing.
Yeah.
I think those are moments where you're depicting human tension. Like it has the fucking it's possible for it to just become so like fucking ridiculous and Karen-esque as the writers like play on sentiment that only imbeciles will sympathize with. But here I didn't feel that it was this way, right?
Yeah.
I was like, that's what everybody's thinking about this character the whole fucking game.
Yeah.
She's a fucking selfish bitch.
What the hell?
And now I suppose she's in the middle of her like fucking, coming into herself. And she's like, I guess I'm the Christ figure for this place and I'm just gonna have to live with it, right? Yeah. But this is what I mean to say. Like, dude, you're just defining a feature of the narrative. You're not fucking criticizing it when you say the character is unlikable. That's exactly the fucking point. Like, there's literally like that's
built
the narrative
into her.
arc addresses it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It just seems like people are saying, well, it has to be about likable characters or it's not a good game. Like, what are you talking about? You're just counting whole fucking genres of literary creation because you are an idiot. You know
Honestly,
what I
mean? I really can't get past thinking that it's a big fucking troll job. Like,
it's a big wash.
We've seen criticism for every single video game on the goddamn planet, and it's like, when you read some of the stuff that they're saying about this game, you just shake your head and you're like...
And when you hear people complain about the fucks, like it's the same idiots that invade our comment section complaining that way too sometimes.
That we swear too much.
Fuck you, buddy.
Yeah, like fuck. I said this in the last video. This is a new IP, a new world, a new almost... Not a new kind of game, but... In terms of the combat and stuff, it introduces some ideas that we haven't seen, some mechanics and things that we have never really fucked with.
Can you think of
like,
a 3D open world game that you played that had fucking movement and traversal?
Not like this, no. I feel like
a lot of these kinds of games, and I hate most of them, yes. But I played a lot of them, and the ones that I liked even a lot, like Death Stranding, say, Days Gone, they have good movement and traversal. Days Gone with the bike. Death Stranding with all that fucking
even like I was saying Breath of the Wild and stuff, but none of those even hold a candle.
Yeah. Easily I can say that with confidence. It has the best traversal in a 3D open world game. My favorite. Without hesitation. That's something I like a lot in these kind of games too. We've talked about it how many times in the past few years.
Oh, it's been like one of our biggest talking points. And it's funny because when we started this channel, we were kind of riding off of a wave of hating. We were hating open world games. Why?
2019 came along, and I was like, oh fuck, I actually.
Oh my god, like there's because I think you grow tired of the Grand Theft Auto steal a car or other games steal a horse or buy a horse or whatever. And it gets kind of boring. And then these are fantasy worlds. How can we spice this up a bit? Well, here it fucking is. You're magic parkouring through the fucking world. You can climb a fucking mountain, and zip up
and freeform traversal,
And I like how they incorporated some of that parkour into the combat, where you can basically parkour, dodge, and it she does like flips in the air, and
on top of that, that's the way you unlock new attacks. Like there's attacks you can only use in the combo after you fucking parkour,
right?
And they're powerful, some of the most powerful ones. It's part of the
Another little neat thing I like when you're like beelining through the world and you see a chest, and if you fly towards it and hit triangle, she
kick
flips and kicks it open. It's
There's
like
different animations for the doors and chests when she's parkouring.
It's so cool, man. I can't believe I know.
It's such a I feel like there's so many nice details I'm going over, and I'm like, this is so nice,
the hell, man.
And the best part is, bro, it's a new IP. The matter may be, like, to my assessment, very similar to other open world games, the mechanics and shit, but I fucking always am pro like new concepts.
Yes.
That's the most tragic part about all this. Like, so-called investors fucking looking into making these kinds of things in the future are going to be like, it's a risky endeavor because
of this.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Bad reception.
Pisses me off. I want to see more IPs.
How many fucking, and
More
even
new
the ones that,
IPs.
think back, oh man, it's truly a discouraging opportunity. Think back, in the past few years, like, most of the new IPs, like from non-established studios or from darling studios, were not received that well.
Not
right?
that great.
Even Death Stranding
Like-
wasn't received that well.
True.
From anyone
Yeah, it
else,
was
that would have been
rocky.
a critical failure.
It was
right?
rocky. Yeah.
And the low 80s, That's a critical failure, right? Nowadays.
Yeah.
So
and this game might be, which is sad.
this is definitely a critical failure,
Yeah,
but I
fuck,
doubt
it's
it'll be a
terrible.
commercial failure. Like, I think I read it was selling a little bit okay. Actually.
I mean, it can't be. The hive mind can only go so far.
Yeah.
People get their hands on it and realize that what the fuck are these people?
Yeah.
It's the same with Cyberpunk. People slam that game even to this day, but I'm pretty sure it was commercially successful, was it not?
It was, yeah.
People got their hands on it and liked
It was.
it. Yeah, so that's where we're at.
Yeah, I guess
kinda.
that's probably enough for today. On that, we'll leave you guys to it. Take care, and
Thanks for stopping by.
yeah, maybe next time we'll talk about Dead Space or something a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.